Hi guys, it's Miss Adams, and we're going to be continuing on with Unit 6 in AMDM, so we're looking at probability this unit. Just to refresh your mind, we've been looking at Venn diagrams, and last lesson we learned about tree diagrams. And each of these tree diagrams, they were unweighted tree diagrams, so we would compare things. If you, let's say, had 3 options, you would say that each option was weighed 1/3. If you had 4 options, each was weighed 1/4, so on and so forth. And today we're going to be looking at the All-American breakfast choices for Waffle House to look at weighted options. So if I'm looking at a tree diagram but weighting my options. So when you go to Waffle House, you sit down, you get your menu, and they will show you all of these different options. And if you're like me, you choose the All-American breakfast because you get the most amount of food for the least amount of money. So I like to have options, and that is kind of what we're looking at here. We're trying to see what options are chose most commonly in this case. So we know that the All-American breakfast is going to come with some type of egg, some type of meat, and some type of bread. So looking at how previous people have purchased, it shows that 0.42 or 42% of people purchased a fried egg, 36% of people purchased a scrambled egg, and 22% of people would buy a poached egg. And then if I look at my meat options, I know that 75% of people would purchase bacon as their meat option. 15% of people would purchase ham, and 10% of people would purchase sausage. And if I look at bread, 60% of the people would purchase Texas toast, 23% of people would purchase the white toast, and 17% would purchase the white toast. So we still need to see how many possible combinations there are. So if I'm looking at this, I know I have 3 egg options, 3 meat options, and 3 bread options. So if I'm looking down at these questions below, it says how many combinations of the American breakfast are possible. So that's just 3 times 3 times 3, which is going to give you 27. So if you want to see that written out, we've got 3 times 3 times 3, and that's going to give us a total of 27 outcomes. Now that these are weighted, I'm not going to have to worry about if I'm doing 1/3, 2/3, because guys, it already tells us what the weight is. We put it as a decimal form. We'll eventually convert that back to percentages, but if you keep it as percentages to start off with, you're going to get things that are over 100%, and that's just not realistic. So it says, what's the probability that the next order of the American breakfast is fried eggs, bacon, and Texas toast? Well, I know that fried eggs is worth 0.42. So I've got 0.42. And I'm going to multiply that by the bacon. Bacon was 75% of people, so 0.75. And Texas toast was also the majority. And we had 60% of people choose Texas toast. So 0.6. Multiply those together, and you should get something along the lines of 18.9%. But just so you can see it in decimal form, because when you put it in your calculator, it will give you the decimal of 0.189, which is 18.9%. Next one, it says, what's the probability that the next order of the American breakfast is scrambled eggs and ham? So we're just now looking at an egg option. So in this case, scrambled eggs was worth 0.36% or 36%. And our ham was worth 15%. So that would be 0.15. We don't care about what bread is chosen, so we don't have to worry about any of those percentiles. We're going to multiply these together. So 0.36 multiplied by 0.15 is going to give us 0.054 or 5.4%. We're going to do the same thing on the next one, but in this case, we're looking at a meat. So in this case, they're choosing sausage, which was 10% or 0.10. And then we're looking at the bread option of wheat toast, which was 0.23. If I multiply those together, I should get 0.023, which is 2.3%. So when we're doing these, instead of having to worry about the fractions, we're already given the decimal values that we need to multiply together because they each have a certain weight to them. So it says, what is the probability that the next order of the American breakfast is scrambled eggs, bacon, and wheat or white toast? So I need to go ahead and add together my wheat and white toast options when I do this. We can look at our meat and our eggs first. I know scrambled eggs have a 0.36 probability or 36% probability of being chosen. We know that bacon has a 75% chance of being chosen, or 0.75. And if I'm looking at my breads, I know that wheat toast is 0.23 or 23% of the time, and white toast is 0.17% of the time, or 17%. So now I just have to multiply these together. And I can put it in the calculator just how I have it written out here. And you should get something along the lines of 10.8%. Our next one says, what is the probability that the next order of the American breakfast is fried or poached eggs, sausage, and Texas toast? So same thing, same idea, except we're going to add together the fried egg, which was 0.42, and we're going to add that with the poached egg, which was 0.22. So I've got a 42% chance for a fried egg and a 22% chance for a poached egg. Combine those together, that's 64% chance to get either a fried or poached egg. Then we're going to look at the possibility of getting sausage, which would be 10%. And the probability of getting Texas toast, which was 60%. Or we can just put 0.6, either way. If I multiply those together, I should get a probability of an American breakfast that has either fried or poached eggs, sausage, and Texas toast at 3.84%. Next one says, what's the probability that the next order is going to contain a fried egg, ham, and Texas or white toast? Once again, we're going from the same pattern. I know that a fried egg is 0.42% chance or 42% chance. I know that if I'm getting ham is chosen at about 15% of the time. And if I'm looking at my toast, I know that Texas toast is 0.60% of the time, or 60% of the time, and white toast is chosen 0.17 of the probability there. If I multiply those together, I will get something along the lines of 4.85% chance of getting a breakfast with fried eggs, ham, and Texas or white toast. Now, the next one says, what is the probability that the next order of the American breakfast is scrambled or fried egg and wheat toast? So in this case, we don't care what meat option we get. We just want scrambled or fried egg. So that's going to be 0.36 plus 0.42. And we want wheat toast, which was 0.23. If I multiply those together, I'm going to get something along the lines of 17.94% of the time. Or you have a 17.94% probability of getting a breakfast that is scrambled or fried eggs and wheat toast. So guys, remember, the more specific you get, the lower your probability is going to be. So you'll see a pattern here, like when we are less specific or we increase the amount of options that could be, so like we say white or wheat toast, or we say, hey, I don't care what type of toast, you're going to increase your probability of selecting that breakfast. So it says, what is the probability that the next order of the American breakfast is not scrambled eggs? So scrambled eggs, let's see here. They were worth, I kind of do it, there are a few ways you could do this. So I know that if I go back to my diagram, scrambled eggs were worth 0.36 out of the entire one, because they have to choose some sort of egg. So what I would do is I would do 1 minus 0.36. And just so you can kind of see this written out, 1 minus 0.36 is 0.84 or 0.64. That should give you the same amount as if I'm not getting scrambled eggs, I'm either going to get a fried egg, which was 0.42, or a poached egg, which was 0.22. If I add those together, I should also get 0.64. If I go to my meats, it says not bacon. Well, I know bacon was worth 0.75, so that's 1 minus 0.75. Which is going to give us 0.25. And last but not least, if I'm looking at my toast options, in this case, I'm saying not Texas toast, so I'm going to do 1 minus 0.6, which gives us 0.4. So I'll multiply together the 0.64, 0.25, and 0.4. That gives us like 0.064, which is 6.4%. So you have a 6.4% chance or probability of getting a breakfast that does not have scrambled eggs, bacon, or Texas toast. Let's look at number 10. It says, what's the probability that the next order is going to be not fried eggs? Well, going back up here, I know fried eggs was worth 0.42. So I'm going to say 1 minus 0.42. Sorry about that, guys. So 1 minus 0.42. And then if I do that, 1 minus 0.42 is going to give me 0.58 for my egg possibility. Then it says not ham. Well, I know ham was worth 0.15, so that's going to give us 1 minus 0.15, which is 0.85. And then I also know that it says, and not wheat toast. Wheat toast was worth, in this case, my apologies, it should have been worth 0.23, so 1 minus 0.23. So that should be 0.77. So it's 0.58, multiply by 0.85, multiply by 0.77. That's going to give us 0.3796, which is 37.96% probability. So getting a breakfast that doesn't include fried eggs, ham, or wheat toast is 37.96% chance there. And then we got, what is the probability that the next customer to get the American breakfast orders either Texas toast or white toast? We don't care about the eggs. We don't care about the meat. We just want them to have either Texas toast or white toast. So guys, in this case, all I have to do is 0.6. I'm going to add to that 0.17. That's going to give me 0.77, which is a 77% chance. All right. Last but not least, number 12, it says, what is the probability that the next customer to get the American breakfast orders either ham or sausage? Same idea. I've got 0.15 plus 0.10, which is going to give me 0.25 or 25% chance that they're going to get either ham or sausage. So in those two cases, we don't care about, so for the last one, we didn't care about the eggs, we didn't care about the bread, we were just focusing on the meat. And for number 11, we were just focusing on the bread option. So guys, that's all we have for you today. Make sure you're going through practicing the Venn diagram, practicing the tree diagrams so that we can prepare for our quiz next week. And have a great day.